So I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for you guys. So if this resonates with you, awesome. And it's probably for you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. No hard feelings. Some of it may work for you, some of it may not. So just keep what was significant and throw away the rest. It's going to be general for my tribe, for all the people that are connected to me through YouTube, most of which are black metal folks, and the ones of you that aren't, I'm black metal. So you're still connected to it through me. These are pre-shuffled, but I like to shuffle anyway. I like to reshuffle. So when I was a kid, I used to hang out with my grandfather a lot. I was too crazy for daycare. My sister went to daycare. I was nuts. And pretty much nobody could handle me except for my family. I'd just like run around and scream and chew on stuff and kick things over and just like absolutely insane. So my grandfather used to watch me during the summers, and then I was also like really docile a lot of the times, and I liked to read, and I, you know, was very quiet and would write stories and that kind of thing. So it was just no middle ground, right? I was either off in my own world being a little child wizard, or I was being an absolute maniac. So we used to hang out a lot through a lot of my life, and he used to spin Johnny Cash records and Elvis records, and he always wore black and, you know, smoked like a chimney, like chain smoked all day. And he taught me a lot of things, and some of the stuff that he taught me was about magic. And my family's very, very Greek Orthodox. You know, it's very like an intense institution in my family. My family is very deeply Christian, and I think that my grandfather recognized right away that I was the witch in the family, and so was he, and so was his mother. So we've always been considered fairly satanic, which is a title that I'm happy to wear. And he was really good at playing the game of not being that way, but when it was just me and him and we were hanging out at the park and all these kind of things, he practiced cartomancy. I know he had tarot cards. He never let me touch them. I wasn't even allowed to look at them. We never talked about them except for just once. But he practiced cartomancy with playing cards and treated them very much like the tarot and used them to read fortunes. He read tea leaves and taught me those symbols and things as well. And that's really where my journey started. But he never let me touch the cards, even though he would show them to me. He never let me touch them. And he always said, because he was a traditional Greek man and was, you know, a product of his culture, that cards weren't for women to touch. We were just not allowed to touch them. And that's just the way it was. So I could watch, but that was it. I also wasn't allowed to whistle, which is why I suck at whistling. But so I'm proud to know that I am the 3rd generation of some form of card reader and witch, which I think is fairly rare considering that most of them were burned. So I understand why he wanted to keep it private. He was a master shuffler. He was everything you could think of. I am not. I am not at all. Maybe one day, but not today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this reading, and we're gonna see what it's about. Saturn is turned direct, and it has some really heavy influences. I'll put an insert in here talking about Saturn. And what does Saturn want to say? That's what I want to know. What does Saturn want to say to our Black Metal Collective, our tribe, or the people that are connected to me? As Saturn turns direct, what does Saturn have to say to us? Saturn is the planet of discipline, hard work, death, time, law, knowing the difference from when to move forward and when to stay back and work, when to hang back. Okay, start here. Oof. Ouch. So we've got Page of Swords. See that guy there? Holding the sword of truth. It's got all these nice butterflies around him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 butterflies. So that's a divine number, right? Butterflies represent transformation. So he's got some connection with something higher than himself. This truth that he's carrying is from above himself. It's from more than in him. Almost maybe like a universal truth. And then we've got this 9 of Swords. Look at that. Ouch. Right? We've got this like, almost like a nightmare, like this terror, this pain. Maybe some of you have been having nightmares. There's a moon shining through the window. Moons representing feelings and also illusion and the unknown. Green often can be representative of love, but not always. It can be greed, can be jealousy, can be growth, many things. Stone floor. And there's a candle in the back, but it's not a warm candle, it's cold. This room looks cold to me. It doesn't look nice and inviting at all. And she's also on the couch. Women don't usually sleep on the couch. I mean, some do, not to genderize where you sleep, but stereotypically in hetero relationships, if there's a relationship issue, right, the man goes to the couch and the woman stays in her bed, which seems appropriate to me. But something's not right. Something's restricted and bound. Sometimes this card to me looks like being deep in some sort of like spiritual journey, like, you know, you're hanging out at home and woodshedding because you really want to get better at guitar for like 8 months and you're not talking to anybody or going out. Like sometimes, but today this card to me looks like painful and restrictive. Look, like she's been blinded, right? She's turned internal. She has to be, this is something she's doing alone. Maybe she's being kept alone. So we've got these 3 cards. So this is the underlying energy for the reading. Like, it's pretty intense. So we've got this guy with this high found truth. We've got this woman who's been woken up by this sharp, maybe too many thoughts. Maybe like she can't sleep, or she's waking up in the middle of the night because she's thinking of all of these things and they're riddled with illusions, right? Like, and then We've got this feeling of being trapped, of being stuck, of being restricted, of being held back, of not being able to move, being blind, can't see. Then we've got this clarity here. So let's take a look at what this is. So what's the connection here between this nightmarish, over anxious, can't think state? Oh, the cards want to talk. All right, let's take a look. So we've got this guy, Four of Swords. He's meditating. He's got these 3 thoughts with him and one at his feet, right? Is that at his feet? Yeah. He's not overwhelmed. He's just thinking deeply, right? There's something like celestial about this. He's in a temple, right? He's thinking about something big, something big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 eagles, and there's 8 wands flying over this valley. Wands representing fire, magic. Not fire magic, but fire magic and fire and magic. These wands are like moving towards something very swiftly. And eagles also carry messages from the divine. So we've got, again, we've got this like, this thing that's coming through, right? We've got this sort of universal truth, right? We've got this kind of like celestial, this big thought outside of oneself. And then we've got almost like a divine message coming in. It's like this fiery, swift thing moving towards us. Like, are we thinking about something that's coming? Is that what the over anxiety is? Is there's like this over anxious thought? This feeling of being trapped and not knowing what to do about this really big thing outside of ourselves that's approaching us? Some of you, I don't know who this is for. It could be any of you, it could be one of you. I feel like I need to bridge this gap somehow. So what is this message then that's coming in? Is it a message from Saturn? What is this message, this divine message, and why is it binding up our thoughts and making us anxious and not sleep and affecting us and making us feel trapped and restricted? Saturn is the planet of restrictions, is now moving direct towards Earth. So now we also have, so Queen of Cups, who's upside down. Everything's spilling out of her cup when she's upside down. Their feelings, all these good feelings are spilling out. There's some kind of like, this worry is really deeply upsetting. There's some deep-rooted nervousness or anxiety going on here. What is it? So this guy, Seven of Swords, gets a bad rap because it kind of looks like he's like stealing something. He's trying to get away with something, but he's looking down the hall. Like, he probably, if he wants to get away with it, he probably should just run and go for it. And yet he's looking back. Maybe somebody's coming at him from down the hall, or he heard something and that's why he dropped the swords. Does he have time to pick them up? Right? This guy gets a bad rap as being like a thief, but it's also like, he could be taking, like Robin Hood almost, like taking something from somebody who doesn't deserve it and giving it to somebody else, but for some reason he can't share that. To me, this card, like I said, it's often deceit, but to me this card a lot of the time represents a secret. doesn't always have to be bad. It could just be a secret that for some reason can't be shared right now. So is that what this anxiety is? Is that what these spilling of feelings are? There's a secret here. Somebody's got a secret. You got a secret? Are you worried about people finding out? It's keeping you up at night. You afraid maybe it's gonna hurt somebody? Who you are, whoever you are. Look at that. 3 of Swords. Look at that. Look. She's on the cold, wet ground in the rain, and these 3 swords are stabbing through this rose of her heart. The only way to get that sword out is to pull it out or to yank it through, and the hilt will have to pass through the center of the flower and destroy it. She's in a lot of pain. That's a terrible place to be in. She's got rings on her fingers. One for her middle finger representing intuition, and then one on her ring finger representing love or union or marriage. Could be to herself, could be to someone else. These swords are also bloody, by the way. So this secret, so it could have several meanings. It could be that somebody is keeping their heartache a secret. Somebody's hurting really deeply and they're not showing it to anyone. Or it could be that somebody has a secret that is going to hurt somebody very deeply, or they're afraid that it might. Could be both, could be the same person having both secrets. Could be that they're hurting really deeply about something and that sharing it might hurt somebody else. And this Page of Wands was reversed like this. If you look at him here, wands representing fire and magic. Usually he'd be like heading forwards with, you know, new power and initiation into like this passionate state of existence. And he would be taking his first steps towards actualizing this stuff that he's got going on with passion and being able to alchemize it. You see that salamander down there? Mythologically, metaphorically, salamanders are an alchemical symbol, and they represent an ability to move through fire. And the ground beneath him is burned into, to me, what looks like the pattern of a lion. He's standing on a scorched pattern of a lion. And it's like this, all these embers from his magical fire staff are being spilled out into the universe. He's quite a regal little fellow. He's young. He's youthful. He's got a youthful energy or a youthful heart. But it's upside down, right? And to me, when I see him like this, I think of almost like bad medicine. Like the alchemy that's happening here isn't good. And it hurts. It's like when you get burned by something, right? Somebody get burned and is keeping it a secret? Or is somebody afraid that their secret is going to burn someone that they care about, and it's causing them a lot of deep emotional stress and making them feel trapped in the situation and very anxious? Anxious about what? Oh, maybe. So you see this king here? It's like a material king. He's got his like earthly possessions, his money that he's built. He's got his treasure trove, and there's a little white flower in there. Wisdom. Things are green and growing. He's very abundant, but right now he's on his head. So this anxiety and this fear is about losing something material. Status maybe, or wealth. Maybe someone's going through something, and the thing that they're the most worried about that's keeping them up and bothering them so deeply is this heartache that they're going through, or that they might put somebody else through, if this secret gets out, or if anyone were to look into their heart, and if anyone were to look into their broken heart and see this secret, that it could damage their abundance in some way. Or that's the fear. Not saying that that's what's happening, that your abundance is in danger. It's just that's the fear, I think, from what based on what the cards are saying. So how do we get here to this beautiful state of receiving this clarity and truth, this universal truth, like this message coming in, right, from above, these eagles and these staves carrying this really high message down into his hand, into your hand, right? So you can like know and meditate and know what to do, like, right? How do we get here? That's what we need to figure out. How do we get there? Okay. Okay. How do we get there? So I'm seeing here that the other concern is that this thing, whatever this hidden thing is, see that happy family of swans there and all those beautiful cups? This is like legacy, family, right? Like lots of deep feeling, that water, creative, this very like, not fertile, but very like deep connections with loved ones, right? Building that, you know, having children and that perfect relationship, and that spreading an entire family across the planet of amazing people who also go on to have amazing families, right? Like that's this card, but it's in reverse. And it's coming across here with this abundance. So it's like this secret, this fear of this secret, this broken heart, this broken-hearted person with a secret. I'm not sure what's true for you. But I think that also it's not just a concern about it affecting someone's material, your material abundance. It's also a concern about it affecting the people that you care very deeply about. Like there's other people attached to this. But not just like your social group, you know, not just that, but like kids maybe, or friends that are like family, but probably family. And then here we have this lady. Let's not genderize it. Like you could be a guy and this could apply to you, and I could be showing you a male card and it could apply to a woman. It doesn't matter. Like, but look, she's got these cups that are spilled, but there's 2 cups behind her. So is she just grieving appropriately, or she's stuck focusing on this crap that's happened and not recognizing these beautiful things that she has in the background that are probably more than enough? Like there's some abundance here, but maybe it's not being recognized. So I feel like that goes over here. So we've got this broken heart that was burned, or fear of breaking a heart and burning it. And it's putting you or us into a state of like being concerned about what's going to be lost. But there's still something good here. It's not all going to be lost. In fact, there's some form of conclusion that's going to happen that is outside of you. It's something bigger than you. It's almost like, some might say, a destiny or a fate. You can change your destiny, you can't change your fate. Well, some of us can change our fates, but not everyone can change their fate. So this thing that's being spilled here, it's bringing in a conclusion. These cups that are being spilled, these feelings, this terrible experience, this heartache, right? This burned pain, burning pain, that's causing all these feelings, deep feelings to spill out, right? The secret, is the secret that there's this pain? Are you hiding your pain from people? Or are you hiding something that's going to hurt people? But whatever it is, it's a feeling, it produces a feeling of being deeply stuck, right? And trapped. I'm just recapping. Trapped. And the concern here is that it's going to damage your material abundance and the abundance of the people that you care the most about. It's going to destabilize the situation. But the thing is that these cups that are spilling, it's a conclusion of some kind. These things that you're losing, it's like, right? And now we have a connection to this kind of divine message. That's the message, isn't it? The clarity maybe you've been looking for is that this thing that's happening right now, it's a message for you that it's happening. It's a conclusion, it's coming in. This is an ending of sorts, in a way. And endings are usually beginnings, right? One thing ends, something else begins. Something dies, something is born. It's very Saturnal. Saturn is the planet that rules that, and Saturn is the planet that's gone direct. So now we understand that this pain and this heartache, and the secret of this pain and this heartache, or this secret that could cause this pain and this heartache, maybe both, is maybe it's meant to be happening for a reason. It is. So this is the world. This is an androgynous being. This is the end of the tarot, and it represents a conclusion of all the lessons through the tarot, each card being a lesson through life. And this is the conclusive solution of the deck. This is the person who has harmonized all aspects of life and become a total being, right? So this phase of your life, these spilled cups that seem so terrible are actually a message coming into you from a higher reality, probably your higher self, the part of you that knows what's good for yourself and everyone in the world. There's a message that's coming in that's saying, hey, this thing that you're going through, this conclusion, is actually really, really important part of your journey. Really, really important part of your journey. And the moon here, the moon represents fears and illusions and dreams, right? There's a crawfish down there, like a lobstery type guy, and he's pretty spooky. He comes in my dreams a lot, and sometimes I'm afraid of him, and he's kind of a cross between like a scorpion and a bug, like a centipede, but it has like a crustacean shell. and it never speaks to me except for in feelings. I'm very afraid of it, but I never want to hurt it, and it always kind of is attacking me. But I really like it, and I want to take care of it. And it's like, it's almost like it's frustrated because you're not listening. One time I was swimming in a weird deep crack in a forest in California in a redwood park called Henry Cowell, and it was really spooky, and there was a towel there that I still have. I took the towel and kept it, a green towel. But when I was swimming in the water, I'm terrified of water that I can't see in, and it was dark, and there was this dark rock, and I just imagined it went down to the depths of the earth, and that all manner of spiritual creatures would come out and eat my feet. And while I was thinking about this, a really big crawfish about the size of my hand, so I don't know how big my hand is, but about that big, came out and nipped my ankle, and I literally jumped straight out of the water and onto the bank, and he got me moving, right? So that's kind of like this crawfish. This crawfish is just nipping at this character here to get them going. So it's kind of like all this stuff has happened, this weird secret energy, this anxiety that you've been experiencing, this painful heart, this secret that you're keeping, whatever it is. It's like this message has been waiting for you, but you've been kind of stuck maybe in that state of like the cups. Where is she? I don't know where she is, but the 3 spilled cups. You've been kind of stuck in this state a little bit here. And now it's like the universe is coming in. And by the universe, I just mean like forces outside your control, right? It's coming in and giving you a little nip on the ankles. You're gonna jump out of the water and you're gonna head towards the moon, which is your feelings, right? It's almost like the path is not, it's an easy path, right? It's not like an unclear path, but it's scary because it's nighttime and the shadows are deep, and the illusions that shadows create are very, very scary, and they're very real, but they're not usually harmful. So the path is clear, but the universe is just kind of nipping at you now and saying, okay, it's time for you to understand. It's time for you to, like, you know, quit mucking around and quit wallowing and quit just focusing on this dark thing or secret or thing that you're holding on to, and go ahead and walk on into the unknown, because that path is there for you. It's sure. It's all you gotta do is put one foot in front of the other and just trust. Like, this is trust. This is trust. And then there's the moon here too, pouring down into her window. Where is she? Right? So it's like she's alone. She's on the couch. She's anxious. She's thinking about losing this material abundance. How is it going to affect the people that I care about? This thing that I'm carrying inside of me that people don't know about. This heart problem, this heart pain. If there's any of you that are like having heart palpitations, or any of you that are like having weird heart problems, or you have like a history of like heart stuff in your family, I'm just gonna say that I want you to go to the doctor. I think you'll be fine, but it's like, there's just a lot of like heart imagery here, and somebody in this reading who's watching this might need to make a doctor's appointment and get like an EEG, or no, not an EEG. Sorry, an EKG. Go ahead and get an EEG too. But get an EKG if you can. Like, just go get your heart looked at, or go talk to your doctor and make sure you don't have angina or something. But the moon is coming through this window, right? So this fear and this illusion, what's going to alleviate this anxiety is going ahead and crossing over into that unknown, right? Like, just being brave. Just be brave and just trust. Like, this is something that's beyond your control. This is a universal truth that's coming to you now. Like, you can trust that. This is part of your process. This is part of your life. This is meant to happen. For sure. And doing that, oh, I feel something here. Patiently. Doing this patiently. Carefully, building it slowly, right? You're not gonna rush onto this path and just run into the unknown. Don't just go and, sell your car and your house and go move to another country today because of this reading. Like, that's not what this is saying. This is saying, like, one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. Deliberate. Like, look at this little person here. This is like an earth sign, totally earth sign energy here. This is like building, look, she's painting, at least it looks like a she. Painting, red-haired as well, right? So that's usually a denotion of a magical ability. Redheads in myths and metaphors are the ones who have the strongest magic because they're very rare, right? As far as like the course of humanity is concerned. So this little wizard here, sorceress wizard, is painting at the window, and she's building up her pentacles slowly. She's building up her skill bit by bit. She's not rushing. She's not in a rush to go anywhere. She's thoughtful. She does look maybe not hurt, but she definitely looks like she's was hurt or is recovering a little bit. So it's okay to take your time recovering from this pain that you're experiencing. It's okay to move slowly onto this unknown path. This is not a time for you to rush. Don't rush ahead. Don't rush. Take your time with it. This is a process. You need to be ready for the long haul. Winter's coming, right? For a lot of us, unless you're on the other side of the planet. But just chill. Settle in. Settle into the idea of turning around and seeing the things that you do have. Right? And doing that, being able to do that, being able to build slowly that trust, that step-by-step process in trusting that it's going to work out and moving towards that recognition that it is going to work out, that this is something that you're meant to go through, honoring that is what's going to bring you probably the most abundant phase in your life so far. Like, look at that. That's like abundance for the earth. This path right now that you're on, even if it doesn't seem like it because you're so anxious and you're afraid, right? That's that clarity, that universal truth. This like building this belief and understanding slowly is not only helping you build abundance, but it's going to change the world in some way because you're changed and you're a part of the world. So whatever this is now, I don't think that you could stop this if you tried. I think that this is like kind of out of your hands sort of a thing. It's better just to like settle into it and not flail and don't pitch a tantrum and ruin your own life about it. Like, just accept that this is happening, It's gonna bring abundance to more people than you can ever imagine. Like, it is beyond your understanding. The ripples in this pool from this stone, no, that's not even true. The ripples in this water from you jumping out of the fear and illusion, jumping out of this pained, anxiety, confused state onto this path is gonna have ripples throughout more things than you can even understand. That's probably why it's happening to you, is because you have a greater purpose, like a much greater purpose than you are even aware of. And what I'm seeing here, I think, you know what, let me reshuffle these because this story is like going somewhere now. Let's put it into a story. Let's put it into a story. I'm gonna start here. So we have a secret thing. A thing that is making our feelings yucky and our hearts really hurt and feel burned. And we're probably also afraid of doing that to somebody else. And it's making us feel bound up, and like we can't move and can't see and we're confused, and we're super concerned that it's going to affect the people that we care about most negatively, and that it's going to affect our material abundance and theirs. But while this is happening, we need to understand that, where is it? Where am I going? Oh, I got all confused. We need to understand that the thing that we have lost, are losing, are about to lose, is actually a divinely guided message. And by divine, I mean things outside of ourselves, things that we can't control. And we need to think about that really deeply, because this conclusion to this scenario is bringing us a universal truth, a clarity like we've never known before. But we're being asked to step onto the path of the unknown. You're being asked to step onto the path of the unknown and move forward bravely and trust that building this path slowly, step by step, is going to bring more abundance than we can ever imagine to more than just us. And in doing so, we're going to have fulfillment, real emotional fulfillment, maybe for the first time. Maybe we've been working towards this, you've been working towards this your whole life. Like, she's got all these cups are filled with golden fruit. She's seated on a flower on the shore in the sky. The water is gently lapping. It looks almost like it's tepid, like it's not cold or warm. She's sparkling. Like, this is a great place, right? This abundance that's coming through this slow building of trust and moving onto this path out of this secretive heartache, or holding this secret, out of this worry that how we're affecting other people with it negatively, is ushering in like a new era, a time where we can like, oh yeah, whew, good Lord, oh, I got goosebumps, my goodness, wow, look, that's serious. So this abundance, this building of trust, is that, and the abundance that it's bringing to you and the people around you, is going to put you into a phase of building. Like, you are building something here. Look at her, look at her. She's just like puttering away. She's spending this deep winter just doing her crafts and her art and learning things, and you know, like, and she's also, if you look really closely, it's funny because sometimes it looks one way to me and sometimes it looks another. Like, the world is abundant to her outside. She's just enjoying herself. I love this energy. That's such a me thing. There's so many people I know like this.
This isn't it.
Excuse me. Did he just say the same word as me at the same time? It's magic. But this person here is also undoing something. They're undoing a thread, right? So it's like, to me, that speaks of you're building this new life through this decision to trust and trust this process. Like, just honor what you're going through, this conclusion that has to happen or is in the middle of happening, or whatever part you are on this journey. It's like also understanding that it's okay if you make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. It's like there's nothing that's going to be able to take this from you, I don't think. Not that I can see so far. And so doing all of this, getting to this place where you're moving through these anxieties and this secret pain, or the pain that you're afraid you might cause others with a secret, all of this stuff that you're carrying with you, once you begin this trusting journey forward and build it slowly, the abundance that it brings you and the understanding that you're allowed to make mistakes on this path, accepting yourself as human and that you make mistakes, is going to produce for you the most massive of changes. Like, this is a huge change. Look at that. This tower is being destroyed by lightning. Lightning from above. That's something outside yourself. You get struck by lightning. A tower gets struck by lightning out of your control, right? Like, this is serious business. That crown is being toppled, okay? So all of this stuff is leading up to this intense change, this trust of moving forward into the unknown, trusting trust, building trust, builds abundance and emotional fulfillment, and acknowledging that mistakes are allowed to happen, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, is going to produce a change in you that allows for the sun to come in and shine. Right? It's like a breaking apart. Like, what happens after a storm, a big storm, right? When all the clouds blow away, it's like the storm's beautiful and terrible and scary, and there's lightning and it crumbled this tower, and I'm so afraid and whatever. And then the sun comes out, right? And then you can go sit in this field and you can be happy with your friends or your siblings or somebody that you love, or just, yourself, like a harmonizing of your masculine and feminine elements, your feelings and your action. Like, this is great. This is a wish. It's coming true. Your wish, like, this is really great. The star is also a wish, but the sun's a different kind of wish. There's all these butterflies in this garden. And look at this. See? So look, this heart that was so stabbed up, cut up, broken. Look at what happens here. It's the sun. Your heart, it's gonna heal. It's gonna heal and you're gonna feel so good. I'm so happy. It brings tears to my eyes. This is so nice. I'm happy for you. That's good. That's really, really good. And so this happiness that comes here after through all this stuff, it produces in you. See that? It looks scary, doesn't it? But it's not. She's being wise. She's turned into herself. She's holding these two swords. One is truth and one is wisdom, right? She's at the shore, at the water, right? So in this card here at the moon, it was like a fear. We're on the other side, right? She passed. See that? So on one side of the moon, she passed over the dark side of the moon. You're going to pass. This journey is about you passing to the other side, right? You see that? And when you do, when you pass over to this other side of the moon, this full moon on Wednesday, perhaps, maybe there's a time significance. It doesn't really matter, but maybe for some of you or one of you. But she's okay being in herself. She's like good, right? This amazing abundance and this huge change that happened here. Like, this is gonna produce like a foundational shift in someone's soul and their feelings and how they think, really how they think. This is like more than anything. It's changing someone's thinking, right? And when this happens, when this change happens and this heart is healed through this whole process, well, look at that. Now you're a king, queen of your domain. This person standing on this rock with these staves, looking out at these boats, they own this. This is theirs. This is their kingdom. Look at that ship in the back. Right? Like, this person. And then look, we got the eagles again. So here it is. Now we're coming full circle. So this divine message, this whole thing that is a divine message, this divine message here that came in so swiftly to tell us what was happening. I don't know where that went, but I want to put it here. This divine message that came in so swiftly to tell us what was happening, right? Now these messengers are coming back. So they came in with this message of like, wow, holy, this is crazy, right? This thing that's happening, this really scary thing that you're super nervous about, this like super dark thing that you're hiding in your own heart, whether it's going to hurt somebody else or it's going to hurt you and you're afraid of all this stuff. Guess what? When you just go ahead and go out on this journey and start it and build it really slowly, you know, it's going to bring you the greatest abundance probably you've ever had, and it's going to heal your heart and your mind. You know, you're going to come out of this and you're going to be king of the rock, man. You're going to be on top. You're going to come out on top. There's nothing that can bring you down. These eagles are coming back to tell you that. They're coming to tell you, oh, this is so good. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So they're coming to tell you that, like, you're beginning a new cycle. Like, and it's more than that, right? You're not just like, look, I'm getting goosebumps again. It's like you're not just beginning a new cycle or whatever, but you're different now, right? You alchemize this process, or you're going through this, right? This is a journey. You're gonna take your time. It could be the winter, it could be a year. I don't know what the time frame is. Usually to me, these things take time. But especially where Saturn is concerned, you know, it could be like the next 29 years, right? Saturn moves a very slow orbit. But they're like, holy shit, what a good way to spend 29 years, to come out of all this heartache and pain and maybe trauma for some of you, a lot of suffering, like, you know, carrying a secret. Maybe there is. Maybe somebody in here has some trauma carried over from their youth or childhoods or old relationships, maybe a divorce, like something that happened, whatever, I don't know. But, you know, coming out of it now, being able to finally release it. You went through a bad thing, let it go. Recognize that the process of letting it go, concluding it, the truth that that's going to bring you is that you need to trust in trusting, and that you need to build trust slowly to build abundance. And it's okay to make mistakes, and you can forgive yourself and forgive other people. And that this change, the change of forgiving other people and trusting again and learning how to build trust appropriately and slowly and building abundance through trust, is gonna completely change your life and heal your heart and your mind and allow you to be king of yourself and all of these wonderful things in your life. And all of that turns you into the magician, right? Because you've got your wands, your magic, you've got your cups, your feelings, you've got your pentacles, your material, like your, you know, wealth and abundance, and you've got your swords, which is your mind. Like, you're coming out of this as a whole person who's capable of doing magic. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. You're a wizard. I'm happy. This is fucking awesome. This is good. So, you know, like, yay. And then, so we got this wizard here. Oh, this is incredible. This is incredible. I can't make this stuff up. This is so good. So this magician, right, goes through all this shit. He's, oh, my life is so hard. I got these secrets. I can't trust anybody. I'm alone, you know. And the universe kicks your ass and brings you this message, maybe through me, and kicks you on this journey of abundance, all the stuff that we talked about, whatever. And now you're this wizard who's got all this stuff behind you, and now you can, you know, make magic and make abundance, and you can think clearly, and your feelings are in check, and you're a harmonized person, right? Like, your mental health is strong, your financial health is strong. Like, you're gonna get to this place, you know? Like, you got it. You got it. You're gonna overcome your whatever the hell it is that's been holding you back. You're gonna overcome this shit. This is gonna go if you let it go. And once you do, and you trust the process of stepping forward into letting that go bit by bit, slowly, and it turns you into the wizard, then you're gonna have 9 of Pentacles. And this is very Virgo energy, but it doesn't have to be. It could be earth signs, just earth sign stuff. But like, maybe some of you are a Virgo, guy or girl, whatever. You got a bunch of trauma that you're going through, not now, but like, you know, that you've been hanging on to, a secret, you have secrets that might hurt people, and you're letting all this stuff go and blah blah, you know, and you alchemize into this wizard, and now you're like at this totally different place in your life, where now when you build things and now when you do things, you're this person. Like, look at that person. That person is just grooving. She is like out in the garden, she is dancing, there are grapes here. This is like the Garden of Eden if we were still there, you know. This is like it's like Adam and Eve abandoned the Garden of Eden and Lilith went back and she was like, fuck you, this is my garden. And she's like been gardening there for 10 million years, you know what I mean? Longer. That's the energy of this card. Like, there's this magic songbird, right? She's got, and it's like it's a hawk, but let's say the messenger, the universal messenger, which is very mercurial, and now Mercury is going out of retrograde on Monday, right? So it's like the messages of the gods, the messages from her higher self, right? Her true God, herself, is at her wrist. She's capable, he's capable, you're capable of pulling down, once you've been through this process and become this wizard, capable of pulling down messages right out of the universe. You'll see those things that you couldn't see before they even come. Nothing can threaten you in this state. You are building. You are building and you are good. Like, that's where this is headed. And then, to conclude all of it, all of this brings you through everything. You know, now you're a wizard, Harry, and you're building the most amazing things from a place of absolute security, and you are like so close to being there, you know? So close to being there. And then when you get there, boom! Ba-boom! Hey, ba-boom! Hey, boom-boom! Ba-da-boom! Do you see that? Do you know what that is? That's the Hierophant, man. This very Taurus energy, Earth sign energy, but like whatever, it could be anybody. You could have a Taurus moon, Taurus rising, there could be a Taurus around you. It could just be you're an Earth sign, you have an Earth influence, could be really like nature. You could be none of those things, it doesn't matter, but like it might also be speaking to some people who are Earth signs. There's a lot of Earth and air energy in this, so but it's like all of this leads you up to become the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, like, look at this guy. He's he's like a leader, you know? Look at him. He's got a magical staff. He's got like some kind of a holy book that he wrote. That's a book of his experiences and the shit that he went through. People come to this person. This is a leader. Like, this person is beyond secure. This person has created more than a legacy with their experience. They've created something that's so purely foundational that it can't be broken. There's nothing that can take this away from you once you get to this place. There's nothing else to say.